Well, hello there, wiggers and niggers. It's been a while. Because I've been a lazy wigger. Okay, so, yeah, I haven't gotten to anything lately. I ain't gonna shit you. I really haven't. So anyway, Candace Owens is out at the Daily Wire. That's the broadcast company, if you will, that she broadcasted from. And part of the reason was she did not support Israel. Let's be honest. She didn't support Israel. She said Israel was doing too much killing. And they kind of are in a way, but, you know, if you want to get into that, they were attacked. And to be honest with you, these retards, these sand retards in Gaza, there's a lot of innocent people there. But with any war, there's always innocent people. There were innocent Germans in World War II that got slaughtered. Okay? It's a fact. It's not good. It's a fact. So, when Hamas, which is a terror organization, make no bones about it, attacked Israel, make no bones about it, they had a two-state solution going for some time. And they were working in harmony. And a while back, Israel said, okay, you can vote on your own people and govern yourself. Great. So who did they vote for to run stuff? Hamas, a terror organization. So these idiots kind of brought it on themselves, if you will. They voted for a terror organization. When they had the free right to vote, they turned around and voted for those people. That doesn't say much for them. So, of course, this time after they got attacked, you know, Netanyahu said, okay, fuck this shit, we're going to level the place and turn it into a parking lot. And that's what he's been doing, and I can't say I blame him. Because anything other than ultimate destruction, they're just going to come back next time and do it again. You know, just like in World War II, you need to decimate them. And unfortunately, innocent people are going to be decimated too, and that is terrible. But she was speaking out against this and not really supporting Israel, which I could see it because there is innocent people in Gaza. There's good people. Unfortunately, they're caught in the middle. Unfortunately, they live there. And that kind of fucking sucks, right? But I don't know what to say about it. But one of her bosses, you know, the one that has a funny cadence when he talks, Ben Shapiro, the one that goes around wearing a little yarmulke and kind of looks like a gay boy, the lawyer from Harvard, he owns part of the Daily Wire or whatever. It would be one of her bosses, kind of. Ben Shapiro, who brought her in. And I do kind of like listening to some of Ben Shapiro's stuff, but let's face it, he was a never-Trumper. That's what he was. Donald Trump's going to be horrible. Donald Trump's going to be bad for the union. Donald Trump... Blah, 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 blah. And let's face it, Ben Shapiro is an American second. He's a Jewish American first, and he puts Israel above everything else. So when she didn't show her support for Israel, he had a problem with that. And then he went out publicly and badmouthed her, which is just really, really, really piss-poor management. I mean, if your boss has something to say to you, he should pull you aside. He shouldn't berate you in front of other employees. That's bad management. So Ben Shapiro did something really fucking stupid, although he'll never admit it because he's so smart. That's the way those people always are. Not the Jews, but the wise asses that think they know everything. If they happen to be Jewish, then fuck them, they happen to be Jewish. But that's Ben Shapiro. He's a Jew first, an Israel supporter first, and then an American like third or something. You know, you got enough money, move to Israel. If you're so fucking concerned, go fight the war over there. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. You feel me? Yeah. Oh, I'll support him from here. Yeah. Good going. You got a real set of balls on you, guy. So, he didn't like it when Candace Owens, I will admit it, my chocolate fantasy, he didn't like it when she spoke out against Israel and said, you know, enough killing. And then this Sunday, oh my jeebus, she said something like, God is king. She's a Christian. Ben Shapiro didn't like that because we know how the Jews didn't like Jesus. Okay? Let's face it. All this religious stuff to me is a little bit too much, but I mean, I'm not a believer in any of this shit. We didn't get to the moon because of Jeebus. We got there because of science and our own ingenuity. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. We didn't cure polio because of Jeebus. Didn't happen. His hand didn't come down, and what about all the people that died in, in communist regimes? And what about the people who died in the iron lungs before Jonas Salk invented the polio vaccine? How about that? Right, exactly. No answer, as usual. Just believe. Yeah, it's always the same shit. And we're all going to float up and be raptured one day. So I'm not really into religion at all. I could give two fucks less because I go to work a couple jobs every day, and yeah, I don't see the hand of Jeebus coming down to pay my bills. It just doesn't fucking happen. Okay, people? It just don't happen. So, no. But what I do notice is that Candance Owens has a right to express her religious belief. And she has a right to say, God is king, or God rules my life, or whatever. I don't remember now. It was like last week. I can't even remember what I did yesterday. But she said something, and that was like the last straw for, Jewy Jew boy. And he didn't like it. So she was fired, apparently. Now, to be honest with you, I hope she gets her own show on X or Twitter. That would rock. But she's going to get her own show somewhere. Who the fuck knows? But right now, she's squirting out another kid, so she might wait till the kid is born and relax a little and stuff, and good for her. So, no. But she will be back. But one thing I noticed is, and I've noticed this a long time, and I know a lot of other people have noticed this too. So I'm reading an article today against Candance Owens, of course. What was the gist of the article? Well, she kind of does it. She speaks out against her own people. And I used to have, I used to go to welding school, and there was this little fat black girl, Arnisha, who used to go in my class. And so I remember she got in an argument with me on Facebook because she supported, burn, loot, murder. BLM there. And they were burning everything down a couple of years ago, just burning the entire city of Baltimore and everything with it. And she supported this. Well, they have to speak up. Well, they don't have to light a fire at the same time, stupid. They were only burning down their own communities so that the old people, some of them old black people can't get their medicine now at CVS and shit because the CVS got burned to the ground. I mean, that's what's happening, but nope, they gotta burn it to the ground. And they gotta go looting because a protest isn't a protest without looting. They get free shoes, free Air Jordans. This is retarded. Oh, I'm fighting the system by stealing shoes. So, yeah, come on. So, anyway, article was written by Monique Judge. Now, I don't think that sounds exactly like a white name, but who knows? There wasn't a picture there, but I'm guessing she ain't white. And she starts off the article, I mean, one of the first sentences, I don't like Candance Owens. So you can see where the fuck this article was going. And she says Candance Owens was a grifter for the whiteys. If you don't speak the company line, if you're not for reparations, if you're not spouting that, that slavery shit, that institutional slavery, and there's institutional racism everywhere, there it is, holy shit, there's racism right over there, it's coming for me. This kind of shit, if you don't do this all the time, as Joe Biden would say, you ain't black. And if you don't vote Democratic, you ain't black. And if you think for yourself, like Candance Owens spouses, you ain't fucking black. Because you ain't following lockstep. And so, this is what I'm saying. And the black community just falls again and again and again for their race hustlers. like this piece of shit right here. This is Reverend Al. He's a race hustler. Okay, he pretty much supports niggerism. Okay, there's no doubt about it. He is a race hustler. He never saw a racial incident that he didn't think, I'm gonna pour gasoline on that shit and make some fucking money. He is a horrible fucking person. Horrible. And he looks like a big head. He looks like a South Park character now. Because he lost weight and he's got this big old head on his skinny body. He used to be like a fat pimp like in the 70s. I like fat Reverend Al. Because he looked pimping back then. He had a mustache and shit. Now he just looks like almost like a black version of Mr. Mackey on South Park. So he's got a big fucking bulbous head and like a really scrawny body. It's really odd looking. Like his head doesn't fit his body anymore. But good for him for losing weight. And so, you know, this article basically said Candace Owens is a spokeswoman for anti-blackness. She's not anti-black. You fucking read. This is the problem with every black community and why they don't fucking get ahead. Because you're not lockstep. You gotta listen to rap music. You gotta be a thug. You gotta have a tattoo that says thug life here, nigga. You gotta use the N-word every 5 minutes. You gotta go looting. You gotta burn something to the ground. You must be for reparations. And you must claim victimhood 24/7. And you have to support some community rabble-rousing leader like this asswipe up here. You can't stand on your own 2 feet. You can't think. You can't work hard and go get a job because, oh, fuck that. And you can't get an education. All you're going to keep saying is you blame Whitey. Candace Owens doesn't do that. Candace Owens calls it for what it is. And yeah, she, you know, this article tried to point out when she was younger, and she said this, and she said that. Compare yourself to when you were like 15 or something. You know, so that's a little unfair. Candace Owens may have said one thing or may have said another. I believe... I can't remember his name now. Son of a bitch. I got his book in there. Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell. Sowell. I watch his videos all the time. An economist... just an extremely educated man, a black guy, and he goes, I used to be a Marxist too, when I was younger. Of course, he's not for that anymore, but he goes, I used to be a Marxist too. And they said, what changed your mind? He goes, well, easy, facts. So, you know, it's really unfair, but this, if you want to call her an author, she seems to be pretty much just a racist. This Monique Judge, her article, she tries to paint Candace as a flip-flopper. Meanwhile, Candace isn't that old. She's pretty friggin' young. I'd say she's in her 30s. I don't know. She's looking pretty good, but I don't know how old she is. But she's pretty young. So I mean, if you go back to when, she even mentioned when she was in high school, because there was a story that she was involved in high school. It was a racist incident, but if you go back to when you were in high school, come on, give me a break. I got way more balls now than I used to in high school. Because the older you get, the less fucks you have to give. You know, I don't care about fitting in anymore. I am what I am. If you don't like me, I got a bag of dicks for you. I don't really care. You don't pay my bills. But I didn't think about that in high school. But now I notice, gee, the only one that pays my bills is me. So, you know, the only one that really opinion should matter is you're looking at him, asshole. Okay, so I think it's really unfair to say, oh, when Candace Owens was in high school, give me a fucking break, man. She was probably told what to do in high school, and like a dopey high school kid, she was like, okay, okay. I was too. But that's unfair. But this person tries to prove everything in this article, and I think it's just bullshit. It's an extremely, extremely racist article, and the person is an extreme racist. And the story in the article is the same. If you don't think, if you don't do what we tell you to do, you ain't black. If you don't fall into step, you ain't black. And if the black community keeps doing this shit, they will never, pull ahead. Never. Never. If they blame everything on whitey, if education is too white, all this kind of stupid shit, they will constantly be dumb. And then asking for handouts every 2 minutes. Candace Owens says, don't do that. She's a thinker. And bless her. She points out right from wrong. I don't always agree with her, but I think you should be allowed to express your mind. And if she believes in her Lord, Jesus, that's her opinion. She wants to be a Christian. If Ben Shapiro is some fucking kind of Jewish people first and all this, and Candace can't express that she thinks Jewish people are dropping, Netanyahu's dropping the hammer a little too hard and killing innocent Muslims, which he is, she has a right to express that. And she also has a right to say she believes in her Lord and Savior. Just because I don't, I fully support her right. He didn't like it when she criticized Israel, Ben Shapiro. That's why she's gone. And then when she basically said right in front of your face, Lord is King, and she quoted a Bible scripture, he flipped out. I don't have a problem with it. May not agree with it. I'm like, whatever. But I don't have a problem with it. I think it's her right to believe. Right now, we are in a weird period in this country where it is perfectly okay to demonize anybody who's white and Christian. And that's a bad, bad thing to be doing. Extremely bad thing. And blacks, you should be at the forefront of this. You should be at the forefront. Because if you scream about racism every 5 minutes, and you do, and how the world treats you unfair, and there's systematic this and systematic that, which doesn't exist, but you believe in that stupid shit, then you should support Christians and other people for expressing their views and not being persecuted against. But again, you got to be smart enough to see that, and most of you just are too fucking dumb. I blame it on lack of education and rap music. However, Candace Owens is out at the Daily Wire, but I look forward to her new whatever it is, because you know she'll be back because she's a hot commodity. She's hot too. But she's a hot commodity, and she will be back. No fucking doubt about it. No doubt about it. And Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, they really fucked up. I think their viewership is going to drop. They have other people, but Candace was the bomb over there, okay? And nobody interviewed like her. Nobody had her line of thought. She is very clear, very distinct, very nicely educated woman. And I think the Daily Wire is a bunch of fucking retards for letting her go. And you know they let her go because of the Christian comment. And the fact she didn't support Israel lockstep. Just like a lot of the black community doesn't like her because she doesn't support them and do stupid things and agree upon stupid things lockstep because you're supposed to. You're not supposed to ask questions if you're black. If you think for yourself, you're not black, as Joe Biden would say. Again, so this is stupid, but just know that Candace Owens will be back. This is completely fucking retarded. The article I read today was probably the biggest racist article I had read in years. It was a piece of fucking trash. And just because Candace Owens thinks for herself does not mean she is not black. She doesn't stand up for her people. Well, I'm not going to stand up for fucking white trash either. If people are committing crimes and raping people, I'm not going to stand up for those people. I'll stand up for good people, and that's what she does. The idea that we should not be a colorblind society is retarded. Of course you should be. That's the ultimate goal. The goal is not to separate. Of course, right now we have the divider-in-chief, which started with Obama. He was horrible for race relations. And I thought, oh, well, It'll be interesting to have a black president because maybe he'll bring a different perspective. Say, he was fucking horrible. That guy's a CIA retard. And that's a whole nother video. But Candace Owens is out at the Daily Wire. I would love to see her on X. Twitter, we'll see. I don't know what she'll do. She'll come back in some form, but on somebody else's platform. I'd love to see her do what Tucker Carlson has done. I think that would be fucking awesome, but we'll see after she squirts out that kid and does whatever she does. We'll see. So it will be interesting, and I hope the best for her. And Ben Shapiro, I hope you fall in a fucking manhole with your fucking gay little yarmulke. Yeah, I said it. Bitch. So, anyway, you know the deal. These nuts. I gotta go. Adios, bitches.